Hello students, today we will discuss about amines. First of all, we start with introduction part. Amines are very important classes of organic compounds and they are widely distributed in the nature in the form of proteins, vitamins, hormones and alkaloids. Various drugs we consume are contains tertiary amino groups and quaternary ammonium salts we used as a surfactants. So these are very important classes of compounds we used in our daily lives. Now classification of amines. Amines are classified as many types based upon different categories. So first of all, we will discuss aliphatic amines and then aromatic amines. What are the aliphatic amines? In which the nitrogen atom is directly linked to alkyl groups. These are called aliphatic amines. For example, ethylamine and diethylamines. Now aromatic amines. Aromatic amines are of two types. First is aryl amines. Aryl amines means when the nitrogen atom is directly linked to aromatic ring, just like benzene ring. For example, aniline, diphenylamine and triphenylamine. Next classification under the aromatic amines are ara-alkyl amines. Amines in which the nitrogen atom is attached to the side chain, that is attached to the benzene ring. For example, benzyl amine. Here CH2 group is directly attached with the benzene ring and nitrogen atom is attached to the CH2, not directly through the benzene ring. Then simple and mixed amines are also there. For example, secondary and tertiary amines, and these secondary and tertiary amines are also known as simple and mixed amines. Simple These are the examples of simple amines, just like dimethylamines, triethylamine, and the mixed amines in which both the aliphatic and aromatic system is there. Then quaternary ammonium compounds. Quaternary ammonium compounds in which nitrogen is attached to four alkyl or different alkyl aryl groups or from the H atoms which are replaced to get the quaternary ammonium compounds. Now next topic in the syllabus, that is methods of preparation of amines. First method is from alkyl or benzyl halides and ammonia. This is called as Hofmann ammonolysis method. What do we do in this method? You will take an ammonia molecule and a alkyl halide at the temperature of 373 Kelvin. Here you can see the lone pair of nitrogen is attack on alkyl group and the bond pair between R and X is moved to X. So you can see that there is a formation of an adduct RNH3 positive and X negative, because nitrogen shares its electrons pair to R, so it contains positive charge, and the bond pair is shifted to X, so it contains negative charge. After rearrangement, the hydrogen atom of NH3, the H atom on NH3 and bond pair is shifted to nitrogen, and this bond H will go to your X, that in the form of HX, and you will get RNH2. From the adduct RNH3 positive X negative, a H positive ion will be released, and you can see that after the removal of H positive, you can get RNH2, that is primary amine. Now in this Hofmann's ammonolysis method, the reaction doesn't stop at this primary amine stage, and this primary amine that is formed in the first step, RNH2, reacts with another molecule of alkyl halide at the temperature 373 Kelvin and again forms an adduct R2 NH2 positive and X negative. Here same mechanism also takes place here. The lone pair of nitrogen goes to R, the bond pair between R and X shift to X, and adduct R2, NH2 positive, X negative. After rearrangement, the H positive from the adduct get released and you will get R2NH, that is a secondary amine. This secondary amine again reacts with another molecule of alkyl halide. The lone pair of nitrogen goes to R, bond pair goes to X, and we will get a adduct R3 NH positive, X negative. After removal of H positive from the adduct, we will get a tertiary amine R3N, and this R3N further react with Rx at 373 Kelvin. Lone pair of nitrogen goes to R, bond pair goes to X, and we will get a quaternary ammonium salt. So it is Hoffman's ammonolysis method in which we used alkyl halide and ammonia. In this reaction, the actual composition of the product depends upon the ratio of the alkyl halide and the ammonia used. If excess of ammonia is used, then primary amine is the main product, and if excess of alkyl halide is used, then quaternary ammonium salt is the main product. But the mixture obtained are very complex. In any case, when either you take excess ammonia or you take excess alkyl halide, the mixtures are very complex and very difficult to set. So this method is used in industry but not in laboratory. This method has a limitation also. Aryl amines cannot be prepared by this method because for preparing aryl amines you have to use aryl halides, and aryl halides are very less reactive in comparison to the alkyl halide. So we cannot prepare aryl halides by this method. Now come to next method, that is Gabriel Thalamide reaction. In this Gabriel Thalamide reaction, you can see you have to take first thalamide, you have to react it with potassium hydroxide, and you can see water is removed from this reaction, and we will get potassium thalamide. H positive is removed by this base KOH negative, and this H positive, after getting removal this H positive, you will get potassium thalamide. In place of H positive you will get K positive. Now you have to react this potassium thalamide with ethyl iodide, C2H5I. After, when you react with this ethyl iodide, then the adduct will form, Ki will removed, and C2H5 group is attached with the nitrogen. Because C2H5I, I will get a negative charge, C2H5 positive charge. So this positive charge is attached on the N negative. Now this will get N-ethyl thalamide. Now this N-ethyl thalamide, after going on basic hydrolysis, or you can do acidic hydrolysis. Any one method of these, or either acidic hydrolysis or basic hydrolysis, yields phthalic acid and ethyl amine. Because as you know, this thalamide is a carboxylic acid derivative, and when you hydrolyze any carboxylic acid derivative, either you do acid hydrolysis or you will do basic hydrolysis, it yields the your parent carboxylic acid, and you will get phthalic acid. Now this phthalic acid is again used for preparing the thalamide, and by thalamide you can again prepare the primary amine. So this phthalic acid can be used over and over again. This is the Gabriel Thalamide reaction. Now third reaction by Hoffman, degradation of primary amides. In this case, you will take a primary amide, it means RCONH2, by reacting with bromine Br2, and by potassium hydroxide, it means a base. The products are primary amine, K2CO3, KBr, and water. Why we call this reaction as Hoffman degradation? Because in this you can see that we are using primary amide, and when we get primary amine by this reaction, the carbon atoms which we take in primary amide is one carbon atom less we get in the primary amine. It means, for example, you take propion amide. It means there are 3 carbon atoms in this propionamide, but after the reaction you get ethylamine. It means there are 2 carbon atoms. So because 1 carbon atom we get less in the product, so this reaction we called as Hofmann degradation. Now the mechanism of the reaction. First of all, you can we take bromine and potassium hydroxide. So the OH negative, potassium hydroxide is a strong base, it produces OH negative. So Br2 reacts with OH negative and forms hypobromite ion, that is OBr negative, Br negative and water. So this hypobromide ion, it initiates the reaction. In first step, this hypobromite ion takes a H from the primary amide, and this primary amide gets a negative charge, RCONH negative. This hypobromite ion converts into BrOH. So this BrOH, this is slightly polarized because OH is more electronegative than Br. So it will get slightly partial negative charge and Br get partial positive charge. This NH negative, it was the lone pair attacks on Br and the bond pair of BrOH shifts to OH. So after this reaction we will get RCONHBr N bromoamide. Now this RCONHBr reacts with OH negative, the base, and this base abstracts the H and we will get RCON negative Br. In step 3, this RCONBr removes a Br negative and forms a acyl nitrene. This acyl nitrene undergo rearrangement because nitrogen have a tendency to donate its lone pair and the electron density is greater on nitrogen in this acyl nitrene. So the rearrangement takes place and we will get alkyl isocyanate, R N double bond C double bond O. In step 5, this alkyl isocyanate reacts with base and hydrolysis takes place and we will get primary amine RNH2 and K2CO3. So this is the complete mechanism. You can see that in step 1, H positive will be taken by the primary amide. After the rearrangement, then again second hydrogen is also taken by the OH negative. So both the hydrogens are replaced by the bases and then Br negative is also removed and then we undergo its hydrolysis to get primary amine. So this is the complete mechanism. This is the evidence in support of this mechanism. So you can see this, what is the evidence. You take a acid amide, after bromination you will get methylamine, and if bromination is carried out in methanolic, the CH3ONaCOH, you will get a urethane. It means when you take you will say that a weak alkali, so the product will not be a primary amine but a urethane. So this is the evidence that you take a strong base in this case. Okay. So this is the mechanism of this Hofmann's degradation reaction and about evidence. So these are the 3 methods which are given in the syllabus. We discuss that Hofmann's ammonolysis method, then your Gabriel Thalamide reaction, and then last is Hofmann degradation of primary amides.